How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to
I just want to be
sleep?
real here for a second while I open this video. Yesterday, I had one of the worst days I've had in a while. It was just one of those days where everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Like nothing major happened, everybody's fine. It was just a bad day, and I really want to make today a good day. So I am starting fresh, clean slate, and I'm going to try and get some things done around the house because that always makes me feel better. So if you need some motivation today for cleaning, decluttering, or organizing, or just stay-at-home mom life in
It
general, then this
really makes
video
me
is for you.
wonder.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I find myself really struggling mentally, something that helps me a lot is to make sure that my space is clean. So that's kind of what we're focusing on today, but we are also going to be doing some decluttering. I've been doing some decluttering in almost every single video recently. It has been so nice to rid our family of all of this excess stuff that we're not using, that's just taking up space and making my anxiety even worse by making my spaces look messier and making them more difficult to clean. But we started off today by cleaning out my sink. So I had a bunch of dirty dishes that needed to be taken care of. And now I'm of course going to clean out my sink so it smells nice and fresh. I always like to start with this when I'm just cleaning on a daily basis. I feel like once I've done the dishes, it kind of gets the ball rolling for me and I'm more motivated to keep going.
Right now, and the edges have been folded once or twice.
My bad day the day before was just one of those days where like you buy a drink and you spill it and you're trying to get things done and nothing is working out, and everything you try to do, something goes wrong. Lately, I have been feeling so overwhelmed. I've had just a lot on my plate, and sometimes when I feel like that, I will have a tendency to start feeling like I'm not adequate in any area of my life, like I'm not being a good enough mom, or I'm not being a good enough wife, or I'm not being good enough at my job and things like that. So I just want to say, if you also feel like that sometimes, you are not alone. It happens to all of us. And all we can do is just go into every day trying to be the best that we can, but nobody's perfect. And sometimes what really helps me is to lower my expectations of myself. So instead of writing these super long to-do lists, I will just make a list of the 3 most important things that I need to get done in a day, and those are my non-negotiables, and anything else will have to wait until the next day.
The look you had upon your face when I said
This top that I'm wearing in this video is actually meant to be part of like a loungewear set or like a pajama set, and I think I was given it for Christmas last year, I believe, but I broke it out to wear it in this video because I was just loving the color. I feel like it's perfect for fall. So anyway, it has a matching pair of shorts as well that's the same material. So I will link this set down below if it's still available. It's from Amazon, and as far as I remember, it was pretty affordable. And it's super versatile. You can wear it as a sweater like I am, or you could just wear it as it's intended as a loungewear set. So it's like a 2-for-1.
why I threw away what we had. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I threw it all away. And I remember every day that I have spent with you.
This corner of my house was driving me absolutely insane. I had our robot vacuum gated off because the baby hurt himself playing with the robot vacuum. He's always playing with it, and he managed to flip it onto his face and give himself a fat lip. So that was unfortunate. But the other thing going on in this corner was that laundry basket has been sitting on the floor forever. It's full of things that I needed to go through, and I decided that today was the day. So I picked it up and I put it on the table to go through when Sutton was napping. But now I am cleaning up this corner where my cat's food is. My cats are the messiest eaters. I don't know how they do this. They get their food absolutely everywhere, on the baseboards, on the floor, on the walls, and it doesn't matter what I do, they still manage to make this big of a mess. So it took me actually quite a while to scrub all of this off.
Oh my child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve.
My cats had also spilled some water around their water fountain, so I had to clean that up as well.
I know you tried so hard.
I had some time to waste before I put Sutton down for his nap, so we are going for a walk. And this is our new MomPush Ultimate 2 stroller. MomPush did send this over to me and they are partnering with me on today's video. So I'm going to share some of my favorite features about this stroller. First of all, this stroller is easy to set up and it's easy to collapse. It comes with a ton of different attachments as well that I'm going to share with you. But first I'm just opening it up so you can see what it looks like. I have the gray color and I absolutely love this stroller because it looks high-end but without the price tag. So first you can forward face your child or you can also turn them around so they can face you, and I really like that you're able to do that, and it's super easy to switch to whichever direction that you want. It comes with this beautiful extendable canopy that has a little peekaboo window so you can peek in at what your child is doing, but also it can extend. So again, you can see there on the back there's a zipper, so either you can have it extend out further or you can extend it back in depending on your weather conditions, and it has UV 50+ sun protection, which I really appreciate. The seat can also recline, so if you have a child that falls asleep in the stroller, you can lay them back or you can sit them all the way up if that's what you prefer. And it comes with this bassinet attachment, which I absolutely love. And I wish I had this when Sutton was a baby. It's so nice. It's got plenty of space for your baby. They can take naps in here when you're walking around the neighborhood. It's really soft. And it also comes with a cover that you can zip on. And again, this stroller has that high-end look, but without the super high-end price tag. I know you guys know what I mean. Strollers these days are outrageously expensive, so I love that you get it all with the stroller. Look at all that storage you get as well, and it is all for a reasonable price point. I also have a 5% off discount you guys can use, so make sure you check my description box down below if you're interested in this stroller. You can get that discount. We absolutely love this stroller. I'm so happy with it, and thank you to MomPush for sending it over.
Everything that you thought you should.
Now that Sutton was down for his nap, I wanted to do what I always do, which is pick up his toys while he's asleep, and then it just kind of resets the living room so that when he wakes up, all of his toys are back where they belong, and I feel like he honestly plays better, and both of us feel better. I just have so much anxiety when the toys are all over the floor all the time, and I just prefer to reset this room once a day in the middle of the day, and it just makes all of our lives a little bit easier.
Did your time.
If you guys have ideas for how to keep your rug in place, I thought my couch would be heavy enough to weigh it down, but as you can see, the rug is like crooked here. So again, if you guys have any ideas on how to keep that from moving, I would love to hear them. But now a real quick kind of random task was just updating my son's school photo to his newest one. I actually also have a school photo for the baby that my friend and I took that's so funny, but I haven't got the prints in yet. But I like to take school photos of my baby as well so that I can have both their pictures on the wall even though he's not in school. It's just kind of a silly little tradition that I've started. But now I am cleaning off my desk.
You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life?
Moving into my bedroom, I'm going to quickly go ahead and make my bed. If you guys remember in my last video, or one of my last videos at least, I put on a brand new duvet cover and I was so excited about it. And then the day before I filmed this video, on my bad day, I walked into my room and one of my cats had thrown up all over my duvet cover, my brand new white duvet cover. I was so sad. So I had to take it off and I had to wash it and I had to replace it with our old duvet cover, which luckily I had kept because I planned to alternate between them. Wasn't the end of the world, but it was certainly discouraging after a very long and just kind of bad day. All right, now we are working on some decluttering. So again, this laundry basket has been sitting on the dining room floor forever with things that I needed to go through. A lot of this is clothes that no longer fit Sutton that I needed to go through and determine what I'm going to donate and what I'm going to keep. So I'm going to go through that now. There were also some things that belonged to my mom and to my sister that had made their way over to my house. So if you see me kind of like throwing things across the room. It's because I'm setting them aside to bring out to my car to bring back to their homes. But I don't know why I let myself procrastinate for so long on things like this, because this really didn't take me very long and it made such a huge difference. Something about having that laundry basket just sitting on the floor right when you walk in my house, right next to the dining room table. We have a small house and it makes our small house feel even smaller when we have clutter laying around. So I was really happy that I finally went ahead and did this. If you have any projects like this, you have a silly little basket sitting somewhere that you've been leaving for months or weeks or however long, just pick it up, go through it, get it done. You'll feel so much better. Everything that I put into this Target bag was clothes that I'm planning to donate, and then everything else that I'm keeping I stuck into the laundry basket so we could bring it downstairs to the basement. And I also had a pair of shoes, or a couple of pairs of shoes of Sutton's that were missing their matches, so if you see me laying those aside, that's because I was waiting for him to wake up from his nap so I could grab the matches from his room to donate those as well. I would love to know if the lighting down here bothers you guys, or if you think I could film a decluttering video down here, because obviously we have a lot going on here and I just stepped on something. I'm sure that we don't need all of this. Most of that bin, that bin, that bin, that bin, and that bin I think are all clothes that don't fit the kids anymore, and then a lot of these bins are my husband's clothes that he kind of rotates seasonally. But I think he and I have a lot of decluttering we need to do down here, so if you guys are interested in watching it, even if it's a little bit dark, please let me know, because this is definitely a project that we need to do, but I don't want to film it if like the gloomy dark basement bothers you. While I was downstairs, I figured I would take out my husband's clean laundry and then move over our duvet cover into the dryer. This is the one that the cats had thrown up on. And now we're back upstairs going through the rest of the stuff that was in my dining room that didn't belong there. These are the shoes that were missing their matches, so again I stuck them on the table to wait for Sutton to wake up to grab their matches from his dresser. And now this other random thing I've been putting off forever is there was a big scuff on our wall, so I just needed to grab a magic eraser and wipe it off. It took me 2 seconds. Again, I don't know why I procrastinate on these things for so long. And now I'm cleaning off my windowsill as well, and we're moving on to some organization. I just had way too much stuff under our kitchen sink. There was so many cleaning products that I was not using, and it was time for me to go through it. And I also wanted to clean out some things, because you could see there was all kinds of like white gunk that had built up inside of these bins. So I'm taking every single thing out from under the kitchen sink so we can go through it all, we can reorganize it, and we can clean out the space while we're doing it.
I woke up in the middle of the night.
In a space like this, I think it's best to take every single thing out so you can clean everything out, and then also so you can see everything that you have out in front of you, and it's just easier for me to declutter that way.
It's me. I couldn't see what you saw in me. Ooh, na, na, na. But you showed me how to believe.
And this is the obscene collection of cleaning supplies that I have accrued over the years. I do have a cleaning and organizing YouTube channel, so I get sent quite a few things, and I've just accumulated a lot over time. So it was time for me to really weed through this and just keep the things that I'm always using. It was really just getting so out of hand.
Oh, but I will love you for it all. Yeah, I will love you for it all.
In general, my organization system under my kitchen sink has worked out great. I've only had to go through this area a couple of times since I initially organized it about a year ago, and I really don't see myself changing this system anytime soon because, again, it has worked out great. You could see even at the beginning, yes, there was too much stuff, but everything was still relatively organized, and that's kind of how you know that something is working. I do want to say, though, that it is a myth that once you've organized a space, you're just good to go. You definitely will have to revisit a space more than once, and that's totally normal.
It gets me.
I was a lot more strategic about where I was putting things back based on how often I use them. So while I want the space to look nice, that's not my main priority. My main priority is function, but I think I've achieved both function and it looks nice. But this is the after, it looks so much better. I can actually see everything that I have now, and there's just so much less clutter. This is an overview of everything that I took out from under my kitchen sink that I decluttered.
Have to party to have fun, you see. I got to.
This is a quick little Amazon haul. I will try to link these things down below if I can, but this is a stroller organizer that I picked up on Prime Day, I believe. I think it was on sale. Honestly, I don't remember. I would have bought it either way, but I'm obsessed with it. And then these are some really nice thick socks with grips for the baby for the winter. We have super slippery floors, so we definitely need some good grips, but I also want his feet to be warm. These are going to be perfect for overnight to make sure his feet are nice and toasty, but I wanted to share these in case any of you are looking for something like this. They're literally the perfect winter sock for babies. And now this is some replacement brush rollers and filters for my Tinco wet dry vac. These are a knockoff brand. They are not by Tinco, but they do fit my machine, and they were a lot less pricey than buying them through Tinco. But I really needed these. You guys will see in a minute. I'm going to clean out my Tinco and it was nasty. But first, I'm just folding up those socks for Sutton. Again, these are literally the perfect winter socks. So if you have little babies, they have tons of colors. And again, I'll try to link them down below.
Working out. Some say
Now we are cleaning out my dreaded Tinco wet dry vac. I absolutely love this thing. I really do, but the maintenance is a lot. If you don't keep your machine clean, it's going to absolutely stink. And I honestly have not found a really good way to keep the brush roller in particular from smelling. When you run a self-cleaning cycle at the end, the brush roller never fully dries. And so when it's just sitting in there wet, it's going to smell musty and it's hard to get that smell out. So I decided to go ahead and replace the brush rollers and start fresh. And what I've been doing is after I use them, I always take them out after it's run the self-cleaning cycle and leave it to dry somewhere. And I feel like that's going to help, but I guess I'll keep you guys updated. But it is really nice to have it not smelling anymore. And that's mold on the inside of this cover for the brush roller, that like white stuff. I had let this sit and like rot for multiple days, so that's how that happened. But yeah, this thing, if you don't stay on top of it, it will get disgusting. So it's very useful for everyday cleaning. It's great when you have babies who throw all their food on the floor and you can pick wet and dry messes up at the same time. But sometimes I wonder if the maintenance is more trouble than it's worth. So it's really up to you if you would prefer to clean the floors the old-fashioned way or constantly have to clean the machine. But now I am going to go ahead and clean my floors using it now that it's all fresh and clean. I had run out of my Tinco floor cleaner concentrate or whatever it's called. So I don't have a replacement. It's kind of expensive. Again, I don't want to spend a ton of money on that exact brand. So I actually put a capful of Thieves household cleaner concentrate into my clean water tank, and that worked out really well. It made my house smell really good and my floors were super clean. But as you can see, I had to pick up Sutton because he was for some reason really scared of the vacuum on this day. He's not normally afraid of it, so I really don't know what that was about, but it's fine. I'll just hold him even though he's like 25 pounds while I clean the floors.
gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, 'cause I'm not giving up on my dreams.
Sutton is what you would like to call a Velcro baby. He is very attached to me. He wants to be with me 24/7, which is super adorable, but also it makes getting anything done very, very difficult. Carson was always a kid who liked a lot of attention, a lot of hands-on play and things like that. but he wasn't quite as clingy. So I feel like trying to get anything done around Sutton is a million times harder than it was around Carson. And I wish I could go back and tell myself when Carson was my only child how easy he was, because I think I took it for granted. And here is Sutton very kindly trying to help me push the chair in. He couldn't quite get it, but he definitely gets an A for effort. And now we're going to let my Tinco run a self-cleaning cycle. And while I was doing that, the baby decided to put some pretzel goldfish onto our robot vacuum. He's still obsessed with it, even after she flipped onto his face and gave him a fat lip. But anyway, I just thought this was funny, so I'd include a clip. It is so hard to tell on camera, but this water was literally black. It was so gross. I feel like that Thieves household cleaner actually worked better than the Tinco cleaner at picking up gunk off of my floor. But again, this is what I'm doing to try and keep my vacuum from getting gross. I'm just removing the brush roller and wiping everything out between each use to hopefully keep it from getting nasty. But now I'm going to share a dinner recipe with you guys. And I don't do these super often, but I felt like I wanted to include it because this was a good one. This is a mashed potato and like a crispy kind of spicy chicken with some roasted carrots. This is one of our favorite meals to make in my house, and it's super easy. So the first thing I did was chop up my potatoes into little pieces. Then I put them into some salted water and left them to boil. And then I peeled some carrots and I'm cutting them at an angle so they're kind of like carrot chips. I am obsessed with green onion, so I'm cutting up some green onions, but if this isn't your thing, then you obviously don't have to include these. You can kind of make it your own. I had preheated my oven to 425 degrees, and then I just tossed my carrots around with some salt, pepper, some seasonings, and some olive oil, and I'm just throwing those into the oven to get those cooking. I like mine to be a little bit crispy, so I cook them for a while. And now I'm preparing the chicken. So this is just 2 chicken breasts, a little bit of light sour cream over top of each one, and then I combined some panko breadcrumbs with some melted butter, and then I did some salt and pepper, and I added some Frank's Red Hot seasoning in there as well. Typically, you would want to cover the entire piece of chicken with that mixture, but I have been on kind of a weight loss journey, so I did not cover the whole piece of chicken. I only did like 3/4 of the top of it. But now, as I wait for everything to cook, I'm just gonna do my dishes quickly, and I figured I would share this as well. This is real life. I try to clean as I go because I would prefer not to have a sink absolutely full of dishes at the end of dinner if I can avoid it. My kids were just having some plain old chicken nuggets, and I'm making those in our toaster oven for them. They would not eat like a spicy chicken, so it's just easier sometimes to make them some frozen chicken nuggets, and those ones are actually really good. But now that my potatoes are done and they're nice and soft, I'm just mashing those up. You can obviously mash your potatoes whichever way you prefer. I just used a little bit of butter and some low-fat milk and then some salt and pepper, and they were great. And then I added some scallion greens into the pot as well and mixed all that in. And here is my clingy, sad baby who did not want me doing anything other than paying attention to him. But here's the final product. It was absolutely delicious, so good. And if you're wondering what that little sauce is, it's literally just sour cream mixed with scallion whites, but it's just good to dip. And I like to use the small plates because then it keeps my portion sizes a little bit smaller, more reasonable. But now I'm going to clean up after dinner. I didn't want to break back out my Tinco and have to go through that whole process again, so I'm just sweeping up all of the rice that's setting through on the floor, and then I'm just cleaning up my last few dishes. So again, I like to clean as I go because I don't want to have like overflowing dishes in the sink after dinner. There's nothing worse. So this wasn't too bad. It only took me a few minutes, and I'm always happy that I cleaned as I went. In general, I had a much better day on this day. I was feeling a lot better when I went to bed that night, still feeling quite overwhelmed, but I didn't feel like so gloom and doom like I did the day before. Honestly, the world is super heavy right now. There's a lot going on, and my heart is with everybody who's been affected by it, and it has definitely been weighing on me and making, I guess, my silly little bad day seem quite silly. I am grateful for all that I have, that myself and my children are healthy, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another video.